We're joined now by dperry, who is the former editor of the Associated Press in Europe, the Middle East and Africa. He's also the publisher of Ask Questions Later on Substack. He joins us from Tel Aviv. Thanks for being with us once again, Dan. OK, so Israel says it's withholding half of the aid because Hamas isn't releasing the bodies of the dead captives fast enough. Can you just give us an assessment of where you think the ceasefire is at the moment? Do you believe it's in a fragile state?
I think it is extremely fragile because Israel agreed to the 20-point plan presented by the Americans, and Trump declared Saturday, a week and a half ago, that Hamas has chosen peace, implicitly that Hamas has also agreed. But we never heard this from Hamas. There are two things that are getting in the way right now. The first is the dispute over the bodies of dead hostages. There are, we believe, 28. Hamas has only returned 4. I think the Israelis can accept that some of them may be hard to find because of the degree of ruination in Gaza. They can't accept the 24, the 28 are hard to find. They're convinced that Hamas is playing games and wants to hold on to the bodies for future leverage, which suggests the second big problem, that Hamas believes it has a future in Gaza. The 20-point plan calls on Hamas disarming and making way entirely for an alternative Palestinian governance, backed by international and regional assistance of every kind, the Global Oversight Committee chaired by Trump and all the rest of it. It's quite clear that Hamas is not necessarily adhering to any of that. This is the main issue.
You could also say that Israel isn't living up to its side of the bargain either. It's limiting aid. It's not even letting in half the number of trucks that it agreed it would.
Yeah, because they believe that Hamas is in violation of its commitment to return all the hostages. Look, the aid issue is resolvable within 2 seconds if they just turn it back on. The big issue is the fundamental question of whether Hamas disarms. I don't know how you get around that, because this is a bedrock Israeli demand, and I do believe that the alternative governance that Gaza clearly needs desperately, that the people of Gaza obviously need, the reconstruction and the proper governance and all the rest of it, it's desperately needed. I don't think that can happen, no matter what Israel does, if Hamas doesn't actually disarm. So right now, this is kind of the be-all and end-all of hopes for implementing the proposal, the deal, and an end to the war. I think the mediators, Qatar, Turkey, Egypt, must step in and ensure that Hamas really has accepted the 20-point plan.
A lot of people were criticising it as soon as it was released, saying that it's just so vague. There is no real detail after you get through the first few steps. I mean, all of this should have been organised and decided upon well before now, shouldn't it?
Well, I mean, we all know very well that there was pressure from the Americans to do something, anything, by last Friday. Trump has a way of being, and it is to declare things have been done before they've really been done, and to force the parties in question to call him a liar. I just have to underscore, we're going to be, all of us, and the people of Gaza in particular, facing a very miserable reality that the war may not indeed have ended unless the mediators force Hamas to actually come to heel and adhere to these points.
OK, Dan, just finally, before we let you go, what specifically are you going to be looking for in the days and weeks ahead here?
Look, I'll be looking for something that creates a restoration of trust on all sides, and with Israel, a trust that this deal is really being implemented. But the main thing is, and I'm repeating myself here, there needs to be clarity that Hamas has agreed to disarm, and that comes down, I do believe, to the mediators in question and also Qatar. If not, then there will need to be a plan B, because the plan as articulated to date and as has been feted and celebrated in this monumental and theatrical festival in Sharm el-Sheikh will not be implementable on any level, including the transitional government in Gaza. This would be a disaster. You look at the pictures in Gaza, it's very clear that the people need this over. It's desperate. And it's not about a bunch of trucks coming in from Israel. It is about the implementation of the plan, which would have been a good plan. But we've yet to hear that the Hamas side has actually accepted it. This is the big pivot point. There's no way to run away from it. And I really do hope, just as a person who would like to see peace, that this is resolved.
Thank you so much, Dan. As always, dperry for us there in Tel Aviv.